Yo, what's good everybody? SloMoBackSlap back here with another video. Today, we're going to talk about what is considered a complete game because there seems to be a lot of discussion about that today, especially considering what this week is. And this week is the release week for Final Fantasy VII Remake that's releasing on the 10th. Some people already have the game early considering the current pandemic and things that are going on. So if you got a physical copy of the game, you may have actually got the game a little bit earlier. Congratulations. Those of us who are doing it digital, we gotta wait to the 10th. But also because the reviews came out today, which have been pretty good so far. I think it's doing like an 88 on Metacritic, over 50 reviews, a solid game, looking good. But the thing is that people have been complaining for a little while now about how this is only a part of the original game that came out 23 years ago. Now, granted, there are people who never played the game, were not old enough to play the game when it first came out, and so this probably doesn't really concern them because all of it's brand new to them anyway. But there are, for those who have played the game when it came out, the original, for those people, they are somewhat miffed that Square would release this game in parts and that they're charging a $60 price for what is essentially just 5 to 8 hours of the original game. Now, we have to take it all into context. This isn't everything that you played before. They have taken what was once in the original game and expounded upon that. You got characters that may have had a total of 25 lines of dialogue in the first game that have their own little mini character arcs that have personalities now, a little bit of backstory. They introduce new characters into the game, and even from what I've heard, I haven't played the game yet, change some parts of the story. And so even for us who have played the game, played Final Fantasy VII multiple times and know the story like the back of our hands, there's some things that will be surprising to us. So let's have a discussion here about this game and how people feel about this game being not necessarily the full story that they played, but whether it's a complete game or not. So let's look at a couple of things like this. So we've all played games where, and not just games, movies that have ended on cliffhanger. We've all watched movies where in the books of this movie, let's say a movie was created or a game was created based off a book, and they've taken that book and they split it because there was just so much content there. They had to split it into sections. So instead of it just being one movie for one book, it's two movies. Take Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, the book, it was actually really just one book, one really humongous book, but just one book. When they brought that to the big screen, they split that into 3 different movies. Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, Return of the King. 3 different movies that were all 3 hours long. The Lord of the Rings is considered high quality cinema. No one complains about that. No one says, why are you splitting this into multiple chapters? Why are you doing that? You're just trying to price gouge. It's like, I get it. I get the sentiment that you're being price gouged. But then I think people are kind of jumping the gun when they haven't actually played the game yet to determine whether that is the case or not. We're seeing people in the gaming media who were on one side of the fence and saying they didn't like how this game was being delivered to us in sections and parts. And then in their review of the game, they're saying, you know, I get it now. After playing it, after completing it, I get why they went this route. And I'm looking forward to what's coming next. I think you have to actually play what they have in store in order to say this isn't enough. And I see people sometimes now making some comparisons to Persona 5 Royal, which came out I think last week or a week earlier. And they're one like, what, Persona 5 Royal, even the original Persona 5, that game takes you over 100 hours to complete. And that's true. I've completed Persona 5, the original Persona 5, twice, and each time took me, well, the second time a little bit quicker because I already had a lot of, I did a New Game Plus, so I had a lot of like my supports and relationship levels and statuses already moving over. But first time through, yeah, it's going to take you 100 hours to complete that. The difference is that the art direction for Persona 5 is something that isn't going to be a huge demand on the hardware. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Final Fantasy VII Remake, it's a huge game. It takes up a lot of space. It's a massive download. Can you imagine the visual fidelity that they've put in this game? And it gave you all of it all at once? How big of a game would that be? Can we name any other Japanese RPGs that look like this game and have that much content at launch? I don't think we can. And we also don't know how Square is pricing the other parts. We don't know if they're going to be $60 as well. Maybe, considering that you are picking up where you left off with the previous game, maybe it'll be less. You don't know that yet. They haven't provided information yet. Now, to not be completely on one side of the argument, the other side doesn't make some good points. Here is the story, but I already know the ending. Unlike my Lord of the Rings example, if I never read the books and I just went straight in and started watching the movies, I don't know that it's been split into 3 different parts. So I really do feel that both sides are having 2 different discussions. Every time someone says, well, it's not the complete game, the other side says, well, it's taking people 35 hours to complete. Well, it didn't say that it was lacking in content. They're saying it's not the full story. It's not the complete story. So I think there's nothing wrong with just admitting that this is a full game that just isn't the full story. And if you don't like that and you would much rather wait until the full story is out, well, that's fine. We can have these kind of opinions and it'd be okay with that. If other people want to consume the content as it comes out, so be it as well. If you look at those Telltale games, they'll give you a full season. They would consider a full season. The full game would be 5 episodes. And there was 2 different ways you consume that content. You can buy it immediately and you can get each episode as they come out and you could play it like that. Or you could wait till the full season was done, buy the whole thing then, and then consume it that way. There are no wrong answers here. The right answer is, what do you value? Do you want the full story immediately, or can you take it piecemeal? But I would say, for those who are coming after people for their feelings, or coming after people for their opinions, slow your roll. People are making assumptions without facts. They're going to charge you $60 for every single part of this game. How do you know that? Every installment of it is going to be 35 plus hours full of content. How do you know that? This first installment was 30 to 35 hours to complete. How do you know the other installments, how many of them that they are, will be the same? You don't know. But the doom and gloom, you guys are what's wrong with the industry. You spending money on this means that other games, other companies, other publishers are going to do the same thing. Like how? Think about that for a moment. How are you going to do the same thing? Are there any other games out there that where a fan base has been clamoring and screaming from the mountaintops for over 2 decades to get a remake of it? What other franchises could actually accomplish this? I can't think of any. What other franchises would have enough content in the one game to be able to split that up into multiple pieces and then charge you full price for each piece and actually get away with it? It's a pretty unique situation for a franchise that's in a very specific genre and has the popularity and appeal to make it work. This isn't something that EA or Activision could pull off. So that's all I got. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think Final Fantasy VII Remake is a problem? Do you think it will become a problem? How this game is being received with very good reviews and the way it's looking, probably very good sales. Do you think other publishers will somehow find a way to do this? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about it. Are you getting the game? Are you going to wait until the full game is out? All parts are out, maybe in 2024, 2025, whatever, and then just get it then? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the dislike button if you didn't. It's all good. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Peace.